pick up more log, and while I am not sick of it, I know. Y'all are welcome, that was free. So Charlie gets the height set up and I line up the mill for that initial cut-in. There's probably a technical name for this, but alas, I only play a Sawyer on the YouTube, so I am not the one to ask. Charlie helps with this process, eyeballing things from his end, and once we're good, then it is milling time. This initial cut has become quite fun for me. I think of it as this getting to know you cut. You get a feel for how the log is going to mill up, and the whole point of this first pass, at least I think so. I think this is the entire point of it, I don't know. But I think the whole point is to get a flat surface. Some of y'all fancy folks may call this part of the process the waste cut. And those offcuts, well, they're waste. I know it. It's called the waste cut. It's for, firewood or Pinterest projects. Well, I don't mean to say that Pinterest projects are the same thing as firewood or waste, but whatever. Now it's getting back to the beginning of that cycle. Charlie is adjusting the mill's height down, and I'm pushing the blade back with Charlie's help. There's times where he shrugs his shoulders, which I think is justified, and then there's other times where he insists that I move it over about 1/4 of an inch, and yes, I chuckle and roll my eyes every time. So this first cut is more often than not going to be waste, kind of like a curved piece coming off. Sometimes it's good for more than firewood, but often not. Then the second cut on this row should be the first piece of lumber. You also get the first really good view of the grain, so it's just exciting. For the second row of the log, we happen to be milling 1x6s, and most of them are some flavor of quarter sawn. Once you get the motions of this swing blade set up in your system, it becomes fairly meditative. Just push it up, flip the blade, pull it back, move everything over, lock her down, and go again. It's a nice rhythmic action, especially now that we've got our mill working well. It's no longer bumping and jumping and all the things all over the place. We discovered some much needed maintenance and corrected those issues. I am so thankful. That was not fun milling with that bumping all over the place, and it kind of is not so safe. It's kind of dangerous. Anyhow, so the final cut of this second row becomes scrap too, since it's got that whole curvature thing. So Charlie's adjusting things down, but now only 1 inch. He's letting the grain of the log guide him. So now we're flipping that 1x6 board to maintain the quarter sawn, ish vibe that we've got going on. But to mill those pieces, it takes 2 passes. According to the folks at the Lucas Mill, you can do 4 inches at a time, like 4 inches widthwise. Although I will say that depends on the lumber that you are, not lumber, but the log that you're cutting, and the whole jazz of how well it's cutting out. Sometimes you need to do less than 4 inches, but that's kind of getting into the weeds. So if you want to make a wider cut than that, whatever it happens to be, 4 inches or whatever, then you got to bring the mill back and move her over so that your 2 cuts add up to what you want.
Big bad storm is rolling in, by the thunder and the wind, ain't nothing ever gonna be the same. These April showers don't change a thing. Right for you for 20 long years. Damn you, Heather, you still ain't here. You ain't my mother anymore, and I don't feel sorry for you. April showers won't save dead flowers. I've got the power, and
live down the road from Buddy's barroom. I got a running tab that's done run away. Sometimes I think I'm whistling past the graveyard. Last night I got so drunk I didn't even know my name. But the beer is cold and the music's always playing, and the jukebox is the best there is in town. Take you free at a happy hour. Country songs and whiskey sours can cheer up any man who's feeling down. We say Jesus ain't an easy man to talk to. Heaven never sounded all that night. But you feel a little better singing, drinking songs together. A little 16 bars of paradise. Well, a bunch of boys come in right after midnight. They finished up late shift, so I hear. Nicky looks so tired it might fall over, but he heads straight for the jukebox and he orders him a beer. But his home's a wreck, he's been bouncing checks, he got bills that's piling high. They asked the good Lord for some help, he got no reply. And he said Jesus ain't an easy man to talk to, and heaven never sounded all that nice. But I feel a little better singing, drinking songs together. A little 16 bars of paradise. Now you make some big mistakes over a lifetime, and heaven knows there ain't no perfect man. Sometimes it's just too late for forgiveness, but everybody here knows that you're doing the best you can. Well, life is tough, you done had enough, you ain't got no cash to spend. Come on down to Buddy's bar, it's on the house, my friend. We say Jesus ain't an easy man to talk to. Heaven never sounded all that night, but to feel a little better singing, drinking songs together. A little 16 bars of paradise.
We continued this process until we were left with barely anything on the bottom of that log. You can just see a slight little sliver there, and then this little hunk, to which Charlie thought he would just anchor her down to get a few more boards. Isn't that some pretty lumber?